What is going on, guys? We are back with another rebuild, and it's the Packers, so it's kind of not really a rebuild, but at the same time also a rebuild. The Packers are off to a very shaky, let's say, start, and that is attributed to a very bad coaching staff, in my opinion. So what we're going to do is try to get rid of all these bitches that don't want to do well. We're going to try to make this team a playoff team again because, let's be honest, at 4-6, I don't see this team making the playoffs. By the way, do we have pre-existing off? Okay, so Sam Shields is just dead. I really don't give a shit. Fuck him. So we have some moves to make. We should be able to rebuild this team very quickly. This team should be Super Bowl bound within a year, honestly. It should be our best rebuild ever to date, since it's really not too hard. Honestly, it just doesn't seem like it should be that big of a deal. So here we trade Sam Shields, Jordy Nelson, and a third-round draft pick for Julio Jones. Packers are finally fed up with players that can't stay healthy and players just that aren't consistent, realizing their mistakes with very lengthy contracts and just overall stupidity. They finally trade for a guy that's dependable, a guy that can finally make the job not so tough on Rodgers, and just overall make it a lot easier on offense to get down the field. Continuing the trend of getting rid of injury-prone players, we get rid of possibly the three most injury-prone players in the whole entire league. Eddie Lacy, Clay Matthews, and Bulaga, for a position the Packers don't seem to know how to draft. Good old Gronkowski at tight end. I really actually tried to get Luke Kuechly, another position the Packers just don't know how to draft. It kind of probably worked out a little bit better because they actually did pretty well this year. Blake Martinez has actually done very good. Jake Ryan is actually developing pretty nicely as well. So here we trade Dayton Jones, a 4th and a 5th round, for the 1st-round draft pick from the Browns. I believe will be trade bait, but we'll see. Here we trade Terrence Knight and Will Hill and a 2nd round for Ezekiel Elliott. Could you imagine him on the Packers? That would not even be fair. Here we trade Jared Cook in a 4th round next year for Vernon Hargreaves, the 3rd. So I tried really hard to get Taylor Lewan. Didn't work. Tried to get Jarrell Casey. Didn't work. So we're stuck with Ian Williams and LaTroy Guion for Jack Conklin, who does sort of fill out our offensive line spot. We are going to assumingly put Treader in at left. Oh, Lane Taylor is actually a lot better than I thought he was. I knew he was doing really well in real life, but I didn't think he was that good. I'm going to take a look at some development trades. Maybe Lane Taylor stays. Let's take a look. So Lane Taylor is the odd man out. Treader is better. That's not what I tried to make it rhyme, but it happened. Treader is better. Hopefully he goes to left guard all right. If he's as long as he's a 79 overall. 82, so he actually goes up. Fuck you, Lane Taylor. I'm sorry, but you were gone. So here we trade LaTroy. Oh my God. Ladarius Gunter, fuck's sake. And Micah Hyde for 3rd round next year for Kyle Fuller. Julius Peppers, Lane Taylor in the 1st round this year for Leonard Williams, who will be playing defensive tackle for us. Most likely, I'm not 100% sure because Kenny Clark was shifted over to left end for depth reasons. And he might be better at defensive tackle. Here we trade Marcel Reese in a 2nd round next year for the Niners 1st round this year. Here we trade a 1st round and 5th round next year for the Niners next year 1st round. So we have the Browns pick, the Niners pick. That's about it. But this is the team we're rocking with. I like it. We actually saved a lot of money. We ended up getting a lot better. Just overall, this team's really good. The only thing I really wish I didn't do is get Elliott. I wish I would have just went with just any random old person, even Christine Michael, because I never get to see him to draft running backs, and it seems like a really easy position to draft. We are going to keep Richard Rodgers, I think. I think it's a decent decision to make, so we are going to keep him. Kyler Fackrell is going to be a starting right out. Middle linebackers could do a little bit better. I don't know why he's a 75 overall now, but all right. Nick Perry's left out. We are in a 3-4, I'm pretty sure. I mean, I put it on attacking 3-4. This is the squad just about. It seems like our team went down, though. It's a very expensive player. He's going to be getting that kind of a deal. Oh, no, the Packers re-signed him? Or no, it was a 1-year. Fuck, wasn't it? They're in some trouble next year. Everyone wants their bonus up. Whatever, we'll do it at some point here. So 10-6 Vikings, 11-5 Packers. We already know that is not possible this year, so we already made them better than they were going to be. 8-8 Lions, we'll see. I mean, the Lions look like they're on pace for at least 9-7. Bears 5-11. That's very doable, very likely. I'd say 4-12 is the Bears record, but let's take it. No, I don't want to look at news. I mean, since we're here, we'll see if there's any draft stories that we should be looking at. One draft story, running back Brandon Kiesel. That's kind of interesting. A white guy. Let's take a look at stats. Aaron Rodgers with over 5,300 yards. I don't think that's the record. I think the record is like 5,400. Best career game, best career season. Ezekiel Elliott, 21 touchdowns, 1,300 yards, 4 fumbles, but that's all right. And Julio Jones with 1,600 yards almost. Adams with 1,100. Cobb with 1,000. So Julio Jones probably has best wide receiver as well. Gronk with 679. A little bit of a disappointment. Ezekiel Elliott's the best rookie offensively, best running back offensively. So we might have taken a lot of the awards. TJ Lang maybe takes best offensive lineman, perhaps. Best rookie defensive player could be Blake. I doubt it, though. And we have sacks. So Nick Perry with 12, Mike Daniel with 7, Fackrell with 5. So not a great season for sacks, but we didn't really have the most insane players ever. Crosby had an average season. Real life, that would be considered a down season, I would say. Ty Montgomery with 0 kick return touchdowns. Punt return touchdowns, however, he did have 1. That's about it. So we probably took most of the offensive records or awards. Rodgers definitely had MVP, not a question. 24th defense, 2nd offense. I wish that was real life because the Packers are probably closer to... So Tom Brady, I got to see this bullshit because there's no fucking way. But in real life, the Packers are probably closer to like 16th offense, 31st defense or something really poorly. Maybe even 32nd defense. But the Browns, you know, you can never really take the worst unless you're the Browns. Best quarterback. Bullshit. Tom Brady, he was pretty decent. There's no way. There's just no way. There's no way I would consider Brady better in this season. Maybe he was. He did have a really insane percentage completion. I guess I'll let it slide. I hope best quarter. No, we got best quarterback because Aaron Rodgers is in the good old NFC Coach of the Year. Patriots coach, of course. Offensive Player of the Year, nice. Defensive Player of the Year, all right. Elliott, Offensive Rookie of the Year. Defensive Rookie of the Year, no. Blake was so close. Best quarterback, Aaron. Best running back, Elliott. Best wideout, Bryant over Julio. I got to take a look at that one. Not really a surprise there. Best linebacker, Kuechly did. Nick Perry was 7th. That's not bad. Obviously nothing there. Obviously not on the kicker, not even on the list because he did play pretty poorly. Take a look at Julio again, though, real quick. By the way, I totally forgot. Once Julio, I meant to say Dez. Yeah, he definitely had a better season. I forgot to change the goddamn sliders, by the way, which sucks because we fucking did so good this year, too. 2 awards, and you only get like 8K XP. I mean, wow, okay, sure. Superstar development trade, obviously. Clutch, yes. Predictable, does not matter. Penalty, yes. That makes sense. That makes a lot of fucking sense that he does not have that trait, because that is, you know, EA, we're on the same page with that. Aaron Rodgers is a shithead when it comes to that. I love how they have him down to a 93 overall, as if he's actually playing bad this year. Like, you got to watch a game. Stats mean... Like, it's funny, they see this huge stat game for Rodgers, and they're going to be like, oh, he definitely deserves an upgrade. Not even a question, bro. Very good game. 380-some yards, 3 touchdowns. Perfect game. Lost the game, but still, perfect game. It's like, you got to watch the freaking game. You can't just look at stats. It doesn't exist. So pretty much just holding on to XP for next season. We are going to... take a look at this matchup against the Vikings, which I hope we do win. I mean, that would be nice. 83 overall only. That's a fucking joke. So we're back with the actual game against the Vikings, and you can tell that I'm actually sick, and I don't know how that's happened, but the end of the first quarter ends with us being down by 14. We get 3 points back. Great coaching right there. Absolutely tremendous coaching. And somehow we make the defensive stop, so we're only down by 4 here. start of the third quarter, and that's going to change as we're down by 7, but we do tie it up. So it looks like we also have the ball. We do. So we have ourselves a chance to go up here. 3rd and 1, nice 14-yard rush by Elliott. And on 3rd and 7, it is going to have to be a field goal after the incompletion, causing a 4th down. And, of course, Cordero Patterson somehow playing well, which is something we all know is not true. Mike Daniels and Kyler Fackrell make up for 2 sacks back-to-back, and that's going to be a punt as the distance is too much, as just about any sort of field goal at all is almost impossible for Blair Walsh. It would appear Tommy Bohanna, I always thought his name was Timmy, but it's not, does gain a little bit of yards. 3rd and 6, that's going to be a field goal. It is. It's a tied game. Can the Packers offense get to, of course they can't get down the field. Rodgers loses yards on a rush. That's almost impossible. And on 3rd and 1, a huge stop, almost impossible again, is Adrian Peterson losing yards. Well, I guess to be fair, this year in real life, he was actually pretty porous. Almost as porous as that punt, which is almost impossible. Interception by Jake Ryan within a minute left of the 4th quarter. Can this be a touchdown? It is a touchdown. So I don't know why we didn't just clock them, but all right. And it's a penalty on the defense, so we're pretty much almost going to allow them to have an overtime match here. No, we're not, as they do run on the clock, as they had no timeouts or anything. We do hold on for a 7-point victory against the Minnesota Vikings, making for one hell of a game, as it is a division rival matchup. And Aaron Rodgers was not great, but could have been worse. Could have been Teddy Bridgewater. That's all I'm going to say. Elliott was phenomenal. He was almost perfect. He was actually perfect. I don't even know why I said almost. 100% perfect. Devontae Adams played very well. That's about it. Who gave up 4 sacks? Matt Khalil gave up 4 sacks. That is horrendous. Mike Daniels had 3.5 sacks. He's the MVP of the world. Kyle Fuller and Jake Ryan had an interception. That is amazing. Mason Crosby, perfect, as was Blair Walsh, which is surprising. Just kidding. Kinda. Not really. So the matchup that we've all been waiting for, the Packers versus the Cowboys. Is there something I want to look at? I kind of want to look at players of the week. I would assume... I don't care about that. No, this is not what I'm looking for. I'm assuming Mike Daniels was Defensive Player of the Week. I mean, Doc, did the game really freeze? I'm just going to go to the matchup. I don't care. So I believe this is the NFC Championship game. No, it's the divisional. I thought we had a bye week. The Cowboys are an 87 overall, while we are a 83. I'm not sure how we're only an 83, but that's what the game says, so we kind of have to believe it. But this is going to be a tough matchup. Like, I feel like we barely beat the Vikings, and we might have even got lucky that it was Peterson who almost always seems to fumble. And early on here, we force a turnover, and we're already up by 14 points. But it appears somebody's going to score soon. Who is it? Oh, it's us! Up 21-0. What is life right now? Hiccup thing. I don't know what it was. I'm sick and tired of this bullshit. And we're up 28-0. It'd be really hard to blow this. But don't underestimate us. We're the Green Bay Packers, after all. 35-0. Still don't expect us to win this game. They could easily score 38 points in the fourth quarter here. Oh, there they go. Okay, I don't think it's going to happen. I was making a joke, but that's just impossible. 45-7. How does that even happen? Why did he look like Mike Holmgren there for a second? Aaron Rodgers, I don't think he would do that. That's not how he acts. I don't think Tony Romo would do that, and you want to know why? Because he's not even going to fucking play this year. Pussy. I don't know. I don't remember when he even got hurt. Comes out of preseason and then gets hurt instantaneously. And Ezekiel Elliott, the key to our run so far. Julio Jones, all right. Gronk almost 100 yards. Cobb just spreading the ball around a lot, which is what Rodgers likes to do. Believe it or not, the Cowboys' offensive line did worse than ours, which is kind of a surprise. No interceptions from either team. Leonard Williams and Mike Daniels. You can't have a game with our team without Mike Daniels getting a sack. But we're going against the Saints. That's the more important thing. Get beat by 3 against the Chiefs. So we're really defying all odds here because the Chiefs and Saints are cheaters when it comes to sim. I don't know how they do it. The Chiefs aren't too bad. But the Saints really don't belong. I mean, I know it's Drew Brees, he's really good, but they really don't belong winning playoff games in Sim. They really just don't have the roster. Come on, make a big play. And it's not. Come on, Crosby. Good field goal. Up by 4. I don't think it's enough to stop Breeze, though. Oh, maybe it is. He punted it. Breeze didn't punt it, of course. It was not him. Remember when Tom Brady had that punt? I remember. Lexi, get out of here. Get out of here, Lexi. I'm just kidding. You can stay wherever you want. Christine Michael playing a little bit of receiver out here. He's got 2 big plays, and Gronk finishes off with a touchdown. Never count Drew Brees out. Never count. Okay, maybe you can count him out. That was horrendous. 3 straight incompletions, which is most likely going to end the Saints playoff run here. And I would assume it does. A touchdown for good measure when we could have just ran the clock out. Drew Brees is going to try to drive down the field for pride, and it's going to do them no good as they're going to lose 31-13. Very impressive. That's really gold by the Saints. You see the Saints? They look completely gold. I know that's what their colors are, but who got outplayed? Aaron Rodgers outplayed Drew Brees, kinda. Aaron Rodgers is playing really real life like, just not putting up crazy yardage numbers, but he's doing the job. He does got 3 touchdowns, which is nice. Is the word I meant. Michael fumbled. Zeke Elliott's been absolutely insane. Julio Jones had a great game. Gronk had a great game. See the blocking. 2 missed blocks by Elliott. He's a running back. Can't really complain. Who got the sacks? Mike Daniels, of course. Sheldon Rankins. I don't see how we gave up 2. Oh, there's a lot of half sacks. I did not see that. No, we didn't give up that many. Maybe we didn't. I don't know. Their roster is probably an 86, maybe 85. And 85, so they are outmatching us again. We've had just about every playoff team outmatch us except for the Vikings, I believe. Can we get down the field? We can a little bit. Devontae Adams has been a very big contributor for our playoffs, just the playoffs in general. He wasn't too bad on the season either, but huge penalty on the offense for us. But on 3rd and 11, doesn't matter. We find Christine Michael again. Back-to-back games where he's been a receiving threat. 15-point deficit. It's doable, but this might be a first-year rebuild, and it is. First rebuild Super Bowl. First-year rebuild Super Bowl. I couldn't speak properly, as you probably know that. But that's going to be the game. I mean, there's no coming back from a 18-point deficit, and they almost get a touchdown, but it's not enough as best defense wins. Best defense wins a Super Bowl in his first year coaching for the Green Bay Packers, which could very well happen in real life. Mike McCarthy leaves, and it's Super Bowl bound. Not even going to lie, this team is pretty solid. If they can stay healthy, I'm not going to really blame the coaching staff too much this year, but the management needs to step up because this isn't a multi-$1,000 corporation or a multi-million-dollar company. This is a multi-billion-dollar league, and if your team is bringing in millions, I don't know how much each team makes, but it's probably like a quarter billion each team or something ridiculous, and you're gonna just give up on the season because you got injuries? Make some moves. Do something. If your team sucks bad every week, make a fucking move. I think Clay Matthews is 100%. I'll give it a 1,000%, which is not even a real number in this situation, that he's getting restructured. He's getting restructured, traded, or cut because there's no way they're going to pay him to play half a season. You're not going to get that much money playing half a season. Even J.J. Watt, if he somehow finds a way to get as unhealthy as Clay in the next few years, they'll have to restructure him too. Which is ironic because I think the Texans got away with a steal. Yeah, if you guys want to know why, the reason is he asked for a better bonus, and I didn't realize that until after. Oh, shit. I didn't remember that until after I was already signing him. And, okay, so basically what my players were telling me there is, I love ya, but you are a fucking asshole for not giving me a huge deal. But Nick Perry can suck a dick. A Dick Perry. Fucking, that was lame as hell. I mean, awesome as hell. I never really think about it, but it's first year, which is the reason why it's really bad. Jarvis Jones. What kind of deal is someone offering Nick Perry? He was pretty solid for us, but he's really not worth the money. People are pretty much offering him a base deal. We're going to let him go, though, because I've seen a couple of guys that I liked. And once again, he has normal, so basically a 72 overall with superstar development trade is 10 times better than him. We don't really need a defensive tackle. We're looking at this. Oh, yeah, there we go. Forgot about him. This guy's looking all right. His combine numbers aren't looking great. Oh, no, this guy was one of those sports switchers, wasn't he? I think he switched sports, which makes him very good. So we scouted everything we needed. I don't know what draft picks we have. Probably at least one in the top 5. Hopefully 2 in the top 5. We have 2 in the top 3, actually. Like, there's no way in hell I would... Well, actually, I would trade up if I was the Jets, because if you have a specific quarterback you want, you definitely need to trade up here, because obviously having 2 picks in the top 5, you can't take everyone. So here, I would love to trade with the Steelers, but I can't because they're going to take our guy. So sadly, we actually had to drop our trade by a ton. So we ended up moving down 1 spot for the Jets next year, 3rd round. They really did not want to trade up, as because they're probably taking some sort of quarterback. Pretty solid. I would hope superstar. My guess would be normal, though. Superstar development trade. So we land a very, very good player. Definitely going to be our starting left outside linebacker. So we're going complete rookie here. If he has superstar development trade, he becomes one of the best rookie wide receivers I've ever seen. So I wouldn't expect it. We have a lot of guys that we can take, which sucks. But Cobb did play very well for us. So Shields, and he has normal development trade. I don't know why I even took him, because I knew he was going to have normal, which really doesn't make him much better than Kenny Clark in that aspect. Now, I really want to know where Dells goes. I'm assuming he's going to have very, very bad development trait, because you're just not going to see a guy there he goes to the Jaguars, which would be a very huge move in real life. That would honestly make them one of the most dangerous teams in the league. So we actually got this trade really easily by swapping with Quentin Rollins. I wish I would have known. They didn't have a green interest, but as soon as I put him in, they instantly accepted it. And that is good enough, so we do get our trade we need, especially since Richard Rodgers is not necessary. Question is, will we get our players? Probably not, let's be honest. And we didn't want any of those players, so let's take a look at what we got left. Grammatica is still there. That cornerback probably will last a while. Well, I think we're just going to take him. I really don't want to dink and dime with any more trades. I'm done with that, so I'm just going to take the guy we want. I'm going to take both of them, and hopefully we land a really good draft. Can we get one more superstar development trait? Normal, but he is a very talented player, so I can't be mad at that at all. And this cornerback, he might have quick. You know, his combine numbers weren't great, and he has really good potential, so he's going to be a quick at least. Normal, surprisingly normal, which makes him a really rough draft pick, but we're very 50-50 draft. I can't complain, so I'm just going to trade down for the rest of the draft, and I will see you when we get there. They did not make the move I wanted, even though I think that's the physically correct move. I wanted to put the better guy at left out. So our team technically gets better, but at the same time, it technically gets worse. The big move I want to see here is this wide receiver the greatest of all time? Statistics, well, rookie anyways. So really solid stats. It really just comes down to his development rate. If he has even quick, he's the best I've ever seen. Normal. Didn't really expect too much different. You just can't give a guy 6'6", 220 pounds, and then the biggest one of all, 21 years of age only, with insane stats. So I believe the other guy we seen, which had slow development trait, was it last rebuild? It was one of the rebuilds, was technically better. Slow development trait's hard to work past. Technically, I mean, if you're going to play a user league, it's not. Jason Spriggs at left guard for right now is the move. We'll take a look at free agents, though. Really didn't want to do it, but we're going to trade Fackrell for Ramon Foster from the Steelers. He's probably going to need a contract, but to be honest, we just won the Super Bowl. We're just moving on to try to keep the team alive as long as we can. So we're back with our team. This is going to be the final roster for the season. I don't know who needs a contract. I would assume Devontae Adams is coming up here with a contract. Lindsley perhaps, Conklin perhaps, I have no clue. Some sort of defenders maybe, but honestly our contract situation, it's really not about re-signing people at this point. I think it's more or less about increasing values. And what's not awesome is us missing the goddamn playoffs. 7-9. You would love to see a much better start. That start would have been great. How much did we miss the playoffs by? Let's go to the NFC. So we missed it by a lot, actually. We were one of the worst teams technically in the NFL. The Lions and Vikings both make it. It said something about us almost breaking the record. Look at Aaron Rodgers, did so well. He did have 20 interceptions. It's a lot for him. But he did so well. This team did actually very solidly again. Davante Adams, gonna get that contract, buddy. It seems like we've played even better this year than last year. I guess the defense just couldn't hold up. My only guess is the defense. Very low amount of sacks. That's really rough. Interceptions. You can't win if you've only gotten 2 interceptions. This defense is just too bad. A lot can change in 1 year, though, as we know, since we went from winning the Super Bowl to losing, or not to not even making the playoffs in general. 29th defense does not cut it this year. MVP Aaron Rodgers does get 3rd. Did we get any sort of awards? Hopefully we got some sort of rookie award. Be very nice if we did. I doubt we did, though. No defensive player there. Offensive rookie of the year. No one there. What about that running back from the Colts? Did not even see him on the list. Boyette! Let's go. 3 defensive rookies. Boyette was the one I wanted the most, though, since he had superstar development trait. Still has it. I don't think we're going to have any other award. Julio almost got one. Best D lineman, best linebacker, best DB. So that sucks. We only got 1 award. Aaron Rodgers was so close to many others. That's really rough because Aaron Rodgers is starting to regress because he's getting old as hell. We got 7,000 XP. I should probably get that used. Oh, Blake Martinez. I don't know why he has 65,000 XP. He might have actually had a lot of tackles, and I think he does have quick development traits, so that makes sense. So I don't remember the numbers exactly, but we are going to look at the numbers and boosh. So Blake Martinez goes from a 77 to an 84. That's awesome. Boyette goes from a 79 to an 88, which automatically swaps him from right out to left out, I believe. Clint Dix goes from an 81 to an 83, I believe, and the rest of the numbers, I don't know. I think Daniels jumped up too as well. So let's go on to the Super Bowl and then some. I wish we would have made the playoffs. I think it could have been another Super Bowl team. Guess not, though. Blake Martinez is a good move, though. He turned out to be a very good player for us. He's a great player. Nice. So it looks like we might be drafting 2 cornerbacks this year. I don't know what our draft pick's looking like, but hopefully good enough to draft one of those positions. Burnett is, oh shit, okay, maybe not. About to say Burnett is a potential player for us that needs to be re-signed, so if we can find someone to replace him, won't need to, but I don't think that's going to happen. We have a couple of guys re-signed, so the Seahawks win 39-7 against the Bills. I don't even want to look at that, as if it's that big of a blowout, who gives a shit? So Davante Adams these guys actually want more money than they wanted in the previous looks, and that should be enough. This is exactly what I wanted. Good. Davante Adams has been very good for us. He has quick development trait, so he's good enough to re-sign. That should be good enough. Speaking of, this is exactly what I wanted. Good for us. Morgan Burnett wants next to nothing, it seems, so we're going to sign him as well. Good enough. Nice. Jesus Christ. Kyle Fuller, we have to re-sign. We are so thin at cornerback. He'll probably end up becoming a 3rd or 4th. Didn't really need him, but it's better than nothing. And I think everyone else is fine. Jeff Janis, screw off, pal. You got Drew Brees as a free agent. Jason Witten, that's an interesting one. CJ Mosley, Jake Matthews, Richard Rodgers. So it's perfect timing for us to give Richard Rodgers 100%. There's some interesting names. Not a lot of times do you see guys like these. Not that they're the greatest players I've ever seen, but there's a lot of these guys that are kind of young, like D Ford, Thomas Rawls, Weston Richburg, Atacho, Jake Matthews, like fucking CJ Mosley. How would you ever let a guy like CJ Mosley go? I think we're going to sign him. 85 points. It's not enough. Blowing all of our money here, it does not matter to me, so hopefully we get Mosley. I would assume we would. We do, so Mosley is now ours. He's going to be a backup. I don't care what they want to say. Blake Martinez has more potential, I think. I mean, maybe Foster, but I don't think Lindsley. Maybe we're going to grab Fair as well, I think. First pick overall again. Sorry, everyone. Hardwick better be there because that's going to be a pain in the ass if he's not Hardwick. I know this is a rough move to just take him super high, but I don't think we can pass up when we need cornerback super badly. Superstar development trait. It was worth the pick, I think. So I'm actually very glad we took him there. So I have no idea what you guys heard in the last recent bits, but I think my mic might have been off, but whatever. It was just a bunch of trades. So we got a lot of different draft picks, and we did trade for Tress Way. This is the new roster. We have Hardwick at number 1 because I feel like we have to get him some great XP this year, even though this could very well be our only year, or our last year anyways. This is going to be a playoff team 100%. We have increased our team majorly. And I know you're probably thinking, why do you have 2 players at number 2 spot instead of 1 spot? Well, let's be honest. Those positions are going to play anyways. So we are on to week 17, and we get MVP with Rodgers. That's what I'm talking about. 11-5, just like the first year. I'm going to show you guys that we didn't cheat. Maybe we did, actually. I don't know. I don't remember at all. So it's a lot to process. I can't really even begin to think of this. So we beat some interesting teams. We really didn't seem to have that hard of a record, to be honest, but Aaron Rodgers definitely played like an MVP all 3 years, and honestly, this looks to be one of his worst years. 13 interceptions only. That really does factor in. Elliott played absolutely outstanding, almost into that first season category. Receivers, Devontae Adams does very well. Gronk, all right. Julio, very good. Cobb, down year, which is probably why we're going to release him. Or let him go anyways, not really release him. Blake Martinez, insane. Boyette has a 13.5 sack season. Very good there. Interceptions, 4 for Mosley, 3 for Martinez, 2 for Slay. And the rookie corner gets only 1, which is sad. Mason Crosby might have got best kicker. Not a whole lot of attempts, so maybe not, but we'll see. And that's about it to show. Third in offensive yards. Defensive's got to be much better than 29th. I would say probably in the 18th rank. 24th, I mean, it's still 5 spots better. And it makes all the difference as we actually go 11-5, which is nice. I also forgot to look at that damn corner we were going to draft from the Jaguars. God damn it. I seen he was a 79 overall. But, so our guy was 3rd. Best quarterback, of course, Aaron Rodgers, Ezekiel Elliott, best running back. Somehow somehow Devontae and Julio are only at 4th and 5th. Best O-lineman, none of us are really in sight. Best linebacker, Boyette actually got best linebacker. I mean, he did have a lot of tackles, to be fair. He had like 120 with 12.5 sacks, which is insane. Crosby got 2nd best kicker. So we got a lot of awards, so this could be a Super Bowl year. We'll see. Let's take a look at the Jaguars guy. I know for a fact he's probably going to have some sort of better stats than he would have, but I don't think they would have given him development traits, so we'll take a look. He is an 81 instead of a 79. So he did have normal, but he is going up quite a bit, so that's pretty impressive. Let's take a look at XP. Let's see, did any of our guys go up? So Rodgers, as he always does, goes up, but he's regressing because he's getting old. So as long as he keeps playing well, he should be able to stay there. Blake Martinez has been very impressive for us, as our middle linebackers usually are. Boyette. So I'll show you guys what the results are, as it just takes freaking ages to actually use all the XP. So you guys have a lot better eyes than I do, but this is what the team looks like after all the upgrading. So we're probably at a 99 offense by now, I would assume. And defense is probably a lot higher than 75, probably up to maybe an 83, maybe even higher than that, to be honest. So we are going to go to the next week. I have no idea who's even in the playoffs. I don't think anyone else from the NFC North was in it, as 7-9 is not a great record. It seems like whenever we're good, they're bad, so that's really interesting. But we do have the Seahawks, so let's go on to play them. It's a rough first game, very terrible. The Packers and 92 overall. Damn, that is a lot better than when we started with. But the Seahawks have had a lot of really good games against the Packers. It really sucks they lost that game against them in the NFC Championship. It would have been nice because The only real battle versus Rodgers and Brady we have is that one regular season game where the Packers beat them. I'll tell you this, I did not expect it to be 10-3 in the fourth quarter. Why would we punt it there? There's no point to punt it at all right there. And they get 3 incompletions straight, which is huge. But then, we do something. A penalty against the offense, that was weird. So I guess it just glitches out sometimes. 2nd and 10. Penalty on the offense there, and a huge play to Jimmy Graham, which is rough. That is going to be a touchdown. So, huge play to Ezekiel Elliott. They are tied all at 10, but a huge no play on 3rd and 1 causes us to have to get a field goal. 3 straight incompletions for them, and we get a decent return there. And we're running down the field pretty decently here. We are up by 3, and sadly, we're going to have to kick a punt. 2nd and 10, we get a sack from Mike Daniels, as he always does. And on 4th and 8, they convert big time to Tevin Coleman. 3rd and 10, you got another 4th down, and they don't go anywhere. So if I'm not mistaken, this is going to be a win from us. It is the weirdest game ever, a 13-10 game, which is something you would not expect with this roster at all. You would have expected the Seahawks to probably put up maybe 24 points, but they didn't. As you would, though, expect a very low yardage game. Ezekiel Elliott just cannot be contained. It really doesn't matter who you have. So just a really rough game for both teams. Just a big defensive game, or lack of offense, I guess, would be a better, more accurate term. Thank God Crosby was perfect, because otherwise could have been overtime or worse, a loss. So here we are on to the NFC Championship game. Take a look at our team now. 99 offense, 91 defense. So I don't see us... God damn it. I really don't see us losing in any sort of way. Lexi, could you... Please. Lexi, she's licking my face now. Hopefully Lexi lets me finish the video. I'm definitely going to have to call this the season, which hopefully should be a Super Bowl. 92 overall versus the 86 Saints. Sadly, the Saints are one of those teams, like I've said before. Lexi, stop. They are one of those teams, like I said before, that are very good in Sim. So hopefully they're not good here, though. I really don't think she's going to let me finish this video. I really don't think so. I can't Super Sim either. Look what you've done, girl. Once again, though, we've been very lucky to... Now she's licking my neck. But we've been very lucky to kick the ball, which I feel like is the magic formula, especially when you're playing games. I don't know about you guys. There's actually a lot of people that do prefer receiving the ball. I prefer giving it away because I'm not gay. That's a gay metaphor joke, sorry, but it is. And Saints do get their Drew Brees back, which has been, without a doubt, the most valuable player to that organization, ever. And somehow we don't score. So it's 7-0. Early second, and Jesus Christ, just like that, we get a score. And then just like that, we get another one. Just like that, we get another one. But then they score back. So as much as you would have thought we were going to just completely dominate them and win the game right there, they score back right before half, which is huge, as they're only 1 touchdown behind now. They are 2 touchdowns. Lexi, get the fuck out of here. So they're up 2 touchdowns, or they're down 2 touchdowns, but they could very well turn that into a 1 touchdown deficit. And they're going to kick their field goal, so they're down 11, which seems to be a good decision so far, as we did have to punt the ball away. 3rd and 16, they're going to punt it. Running out of time, but if they can get a stop, which doesn't look like it's going to happen, if we score a touchdown here, it is a Super Bowl trip for us, and it is a Super Bowl trip, unless the Saints pull off a miracle, which they could. It doesn't look like it. Oh, they do score a touchdown, so... if they can get a stop, which it doesn't seem like they can, so that is going to be an 11-point victory. We're not, necessarily dominating teams, but we're doing enough to get it done. This time Aaron Rodgers does kind of compete in a little bit of a shootout, not, a wholehearted one, but he definitely outperformed Drew Brees, and Ezekiel Elliott has just been absolutely insane, 140 yards every game he plays. Julio and Gronk, very great combo whenever those two are rocking. The game is winning. So 2 allowed sacks there, but they allowed 4. Who was it? Probably Mike Daniels again. I seen him, he had 1. Grammatica, Mike Daniels didn't even have 1. So the 2 youngsters actually doing very well. There was no interceptions in the game. Crosby actually missed the field goal. That's not good. The 85 overall Bills versus the 93 Packers. I don't know what our highest overall has been, but this is close to it. We normally get to a 91, 92, but we're already a 93, so we're looking good. And our contract situation's not even that bad. We're off to a really good start here, but the Bills get a field goal. That's a tough deficit. That is a really tough deficit. So I know the Packers aren't really a team that you need to rebuild, but they're playing pretty poorly in real life. But it appears that we're going to have a 2 Super Bowl rebuild, and that kind of attributes to the fact that Mike McCarthy's a scrub. And if you don't know what I mean, you really haven't been watching this video, have you? I've mentioned it many times that I think this team for the Packers obviously has the talent to win a Super Bowl, but the management is shit. I know the injuries are rough. I get it. Injuries are a tough thing to deal with, but every team has them. You know, you got to power through them. The Patriots wouldn't just give up that quickly. Speaking of giving up that quickly, the Bills, I know it's most likely over, but the Bills sure as hell don't know that, as they cut that deficit pretty nicely, but you just can't overcome this offense. You just can't. I'm sorry, the defense is solid enough, and then the offense is one of the best we've ever built. We didn't even need Ezekiel Elliott, which is kind of rough, because we could have just took that Colts running back. The guy they drafted was really good. But then again, we did win the Super Bowl first year as well. So this is a really good rebuild, I think. The Packers don't really need it in real life, but at the same time, we're sitting at 4-6, and we very well could lose 9 this year. I think we're going to go 9-7, but we could go 7-9. We could go fucking 4-12. Who knows? It's crazy to think that if the holy shit, look at the stats by the man. But just think if the Packers actually did get a top 5 pick one of these years, that'd be insane. But we're probably going to get 8-8, which is going to be shitty as hell. We're going to be 2 games out of the playoffs, my guess. We completely outplayed them. Tyrod Taylor didn't even have a single touchdown. That is rough. But LaShawn McCoy did have 3 touchdowns. Of course, Elliott is never going to be outshined, as he proves there. And then once again, the tandem of Gronk and Julio cannot be beaten because they're just that good. Both teams really didn't let up any sacks. Mike Daniels probably got his hand. Yep, he did get his hands on a sack, which is gross, but it's true. He got his hands on a sack. So what is our defense? 99 offense, 93 defense, 493 overall. And let's auto upgrade. So we built a pretty solid team, I'd like to say. We kept a decent bit of our own players. But hey, we won. Very good rebuild. This could be one of those teams that if we do go back and look at some of our rebuilds, since I do save all the rosters, this would be one that I'd like to look at because our salary issue is actually not too bad. So this could be a 3 or 4 Super Bowl, 3 or 4 Super Bowl run rebuild. So I don't know if that's going to be the case, but hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you are new to the channel, it would mean a ton to me if you subscribed. Maybe even check out my Twitter. It's the same as my YouTube channel, Jeromepkr. It'll be the one with the Packers logo. You'll know if you see it. But, I mean, even none of that. If you watch to this point, that's already amazing. I appreciate every little bit, whether you like the video, comment the video, just watch it. Call me an asshole. I don't, any little bit, you are helping a ton. So I appreciate that. And hopefully you guys do come back for next video. But until next video, where I'm hopefully not sick, see ya!